What's up, fellow Zam Jammers? Wamkelekile, my family, my people from South Africa and all around the world. Welcome. This is Sheldon Zam, and I am doing a Zam collab with Josh Fasahi, who's all the way over in China. Josh, do you want to wave your hand and do some things for us?
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Josh. Living in Shenyang, China.
And he is featuring on my channel today to talk about the differences between China and South Africa from his experience. Josh, if I may ask, how long have you been in China and are you enjoying it to start off with?
I've been here for about 2 and a bit years. Yeah, I'm loving it. It's very different from what you would expect from like the movies and stories and stuff like that. There's a lot of changes, but it's been a welcome surprise.
Sure. And if I understand correctly, I mean, we were studying together. So you went from that whole student kind of budget life to becoming fully independent. What has that been like?
That probably the best part. Yeah, obviously going from a student budget to like actually like earning and being self-sufficient, as well as being away from like family and stuff like that. You have to be fully independent. There's no like just popping to mom and getting some medicine or something like that. You're on your own, but at least you got the funds to support yourself with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also always nice not having to phone home asking for money, giving the parents a bit of break on their end.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's something that I'm looking forward to, working towards independence now. And yeah, just finishing up with my degree and actually doing my TEFL as well. There's a possibility that I might come over to China or somewhere in Asia next year to teach, because I mean, all of you guys over there traveling, making money, being independent, and I'm over here like finishing to get my degree. I'm just like, oh man, I want some of that. Oh, dude, that's awesome. If I understand correctly, you are starting up a YouTube channel. Now, that is something that I would love to talk to you about. I'm the YouTube guy here in South Africa, the one who loves to talk to people about their channels and to expose you to my audience. To That's one of the things people subscribe to my channel for. It's to find out about more YouTubers, South African YouTubers, and you are in fact South African, and you have in fact started up a YouTube channel.
I am.
Yeah, do you want to tell us
Yeah.
about the content?
Well, it took me a while to get it going because in China, YouTube actually isn't like promoted. Like you can't get on there without a VPN.
Mm,
VPNs aren't illegal. It's just they have a firewall blocking Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, your general things that we use
yeah.
um, in promotion of their own Chinese version. So government agencies and big international companies and foreigners all end up using a VPN. So it took me a while to get that going. But now, yeah, uh, my channel is called The Trend Hopper. It's me attempting to get views from everybody by hopping on whatever trend is currently trending. Uh, I fancy myself a small bit of an artist, so it's me doing things of that particular thing while trying to add my own sense of humor to keep the videos not being too boring of just a guy painting.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand from experience. Trends can be so rewarding in that you can get views, exposure, subscribers, but they can also be so taxing in terms of you need to know what's going on and you need to be the first person to post about it. If you are a day or 3 days late for a trend, it affects how far that video goes by far. Are you ready to be that guy, to be on top of the trends, to let people know like your share, your take on the trend before anyone else?
Well, the thing is, I've got the two problems. One is if I am doing an artwork, I like to do like put an effort to that stuff, so it takes
Mm,
a bit of time. So after time, the trend's coming, and by the time I'm finished, the trend's gone. Second problem is without having like Facebook and stuff constantly notifying me, because I actually have to go on my VPN to check all that stuff. I often miss out on all the trends and just catch it up through other people's channels. and that's not a sustainable way. But I'm working on getting that stuff out faster and better. So
Good.
hopefully that will change in the future.
Awesome, dude. Okay, cool. I'm glad that you're focusing on improving your work, how you can do it, how you can keep it up. And I will be following your content to see how you're growing, how you're doing. And one day when you're famous, we're going to have another one of these collabs, and then you can promote me in return. Josh is Josh is
Hey,
Yeah, Josh is, by the way, a graphic designer, and he's playing a role in the rebranding of my channel that's going on at the moment. I realized that it is important to have consistent branding across my channel, and Josh, in return for having this collab, has offered to help me design a logo for my channel. And also what you might see in this video is a hyperlapse of him doing a design of me holding up a guitar, something like that. So thank you, Josh, for helping me with that. I really appreciate it. And if you guys do want to ask Josh to do something, he can probably charge you a certain set fee, and he can do something for you for your channel. I realize
yeah,
I've
I've
got
still got
it.
a South African bank account. That still works.
Yeah, oh wait, there we are. You have it.
You can, you
If
can
not,
still send money to that.
they are. PayPal also works internationally, and you also got to plug you. Josh, what's the technology like over there in China? I mean, you were here in South Africa and you knew about, we got some of the stuff, but I believe it is limited. What do you have to say about that?
Right, so tech here is not what you would think it is. You kind of think everything's low budget, and because you always hear like Chinese brands bad, but they've had a real big resurgence of like good quality companies like coming up with like phones. You obviously know about Huawei and all of them. We've got brands like Oppo and Xiaomi I'm using an Oppo phone now.
What? Have you got an
Brands
Oppo
like
phone? Is
Honor
that
that
the one
actually
that like pops up like, you know,
Nah, I don't want the Findex. I had a
don't.
choice to get it, but yeah,
Don't.
I don't trust the
Yeah,
mechanics yet.
you shouldn't,
But
because
yeah,
I studied statistics, bro. Anything with moving parts has an exponential
yeah,
lifespan in terms of how fast it's going to die.
it's a limited time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get that technology in the future. But yeah, so I'm using an Oppo now, R17X Pro, but it's like technology here is awesome and cheap. Like I've been able to set up my whole computer and PlayStation, all that stuff, and it's a fraction of the price. Like my graphics card and all that are literally half the price I pay back home. And you go to can order everything obviously online. You have that back home, like in South Africa, but here it's to a new level of how do I say? They are so on the ball with delivery systems and stuff like that. Anything you want gets delivered, usually within like 2 days, and like almost zero fees,
Yeah.
maybe 4 rand
Sure.
max.
That's crazy. Are you using brands like Intel and Nvidia, or what's the case?
So I am using an Intel Core i7 processor, but my graphics card is NVIDIA. You know, like how you have NVIDIA MSI, where MSI will do NVIDIA is the chipset, but MSI will do the rest of the build. My my brand is a Chinese brand, so it's a NVIDIA 1060, but the brand is colorful, which sounds
1060.
weird, but it works, and I'm able to play almost everything
Anything. Yeah,
at
that's
60 frames
awesome.
a second.
That's great. I mean, I think a 1060 costs something about 15K, anywhere between 10 and 15K over here in South Africa. How much did you pay for it?
My 1060, yo,
Mm,
um, I want to say it was about like maybe 6K max.
awesome. That's awesome. I'm putting
But
a computer together for Rob the Ranger, the guy who I'm working for, and I'm going through these prices now. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I've heard some things about the whole importing process, like bringing things from China, if it's technology, that there might be some problems. Is that true?
so, I mean, if you are bringing stuff to sell, like you're bringing a whole bunch of phones still in the wrapping and stuff like that over, there'll be drama. Like
Yeah.
that's for any country. If you're bringing in a whole bunch of stuff, kind of undercuts the market. There's a reason we have import tax and stuff like that. But if you like own your stuff and like it's your device that you've been using, or like even if it's just one or two. So say now you got like you're buying a phone for your mom or something like that. If you bring that over, there shouldn't be problems. I brought Christmas gifts over when I came down last Christmas, and I had no problems with a whole bunch of smartwatches and stuff in the boxes and stuff like that.
Oh, wait, that's awesome. That's great news. I want to ask you, what do you miss most about South Africa?
That
Don't take so
that's
long to
food for
answer.
one. I mean, that's a creature comfort though. But the one thing I will say is the weather and the constant like Port Elizabeth has one of the best beaches out there. I'll still say that. Sardinia Bay, there's no other place in the world that's like quite like it. I miss that. Like just being able to go to a place that is so naturally beautiful, um, like on your doorstep. That's probably what I'd say I'd miss.
Yeah.
But food is definitely one of them. They don't have a big supply of beef here, so
Oh, no.
like it's hard to get your big steak, and you always crave a good King Steers burger.
Gee, bro. Especially coming from a student life, that was life. And what do they have
Yeah.
biltong over there? Now that you mentioned this thing about beef,
Do they have?
biltong.
Well done. They have their rendition of it, but it's not good. You can get there are people that bring it over and stuff like that. I know I was got some for Christmas from someone. They found a supplier here, but it's way more expensive.
Sure,
Like you're paying at least like for 500 grams, you'll pay like close to let's say like 100 and something rand.
sure.
So it's
Yeah,
there's a markup, but
I see.
still
I see. So it's
creature comforts.
accessible, but it's
Omar
rare
rusks
and it's
are
expensive.
like 200. Omar rusks are like 200 to 300 rand for a box if you
Are
want
the
to order
Oma Rusks
those.
in
Yeah.
China?
If you want to order them, like you can find everything online, but
Oh,
it's like 200, 300 rand for a
eh,
box of Omar rusks.
sure. Okay. And I've heard that a lot of the food there is a lot sweeter. Like I've heard accounts that if you go to McDonald's, instead of, the whole traditional little cup of tomato sauce, there is a little cup of sugar or liquid sugar, something like that. Can you like give any validity to that statement?
I wouldn't say sweeter. Yes, sweeter bread. There's always sugar in your bread. Like you don't get savory bread. That is true on like the most part is they do use a lot more sugar. But what about oil? I've never seen people buy 5 liter drums of oil for like home cooking. That's something like you don't get back home.
Yeah,
Um, and that's something that's like a common thing here. For Chinese New Year, it's tradition for companies to usually give like gifts to all the employees. And one of the gifts is always like a 5 liter of oil. And I'm like, no, someone else, Merry Christmas.
yeah,
Uh, I'm not a big fan of that much oil. We use like a thing of oil this big and it lasts like a year.
sure.
I don't know how they go through industrial amounts of oil.
Do you think they deep fry a lot of their food?
I wouldn't even, maybe it's deep frying. I don't know because they don't have deep fried dishes as like a common thing. I
Yeah.
think they just add more oil when they cook.
Have you made some Chinese friends and gone to their houses to eat some of their food?
I have. It wasn't. I wouldn't do it all the time. It's not the greatest. My taste buds and theirs differ a lot. Chinese, they will eat seaweed as a snack, whereas we prefer something sweeter. But it's very different. There's a couple of things like that I really won't eat, like chicken feet. I'm not about that life. They have you can buy packets like crisp packets of chicken feet
Mm,
and with like the toenails and stuff like that in there. But Yeah, I'm not about that life, but I
Yeah,
get it if you like the taste of that stuff.
yeah. Mind you, that is actually
But
something that people in South Africa do. Like you can have rice and some chicken feed in there. Uh,
but not like chicken feet in like a Lay's packet, like sold
oh,
hanging there when you're walking past the sweet aisle.
oh no.
That's like the part that's different. It's a snack, not a meal.
Yeah, interesting. That is interesting. It must be difficult to live on the other side of the world and be so far from your family. I mean, I understand the world is smaller these days because of things like the internet, but how do you stay in touch with, say, your family and the people back home?
First thing you do is you make a family group, so you don't have to send each person a message because that gets tiresome fast. So yeah, family group on WhatsApp pretty much covers all the extended family, and then still talk to the mom and dad on WhatsApp. Um, Here you don't use WhatsApp, you use WeChat, which I will say is a far superior app. Like going into it, I kind of thought it wasn't, but the features on WeChat are insane. So yeah, living away, I think nowadays is obviously not as bad. Uh, there's also a huge community of South Africans here, so it's not much of a like you get your local fix. It's just more the day to day going, commuting and stuff like that. You won't encounter any English.
Hmm, sure. Oh, wait. Well, I feel like I've gotten a fair amount of information out of you. Thank you so much for your time, Josh. It's been real. It's been cool.
Uh,
And are there any closing remarks that you have that you would like to tell anyone who is in South Africa who might be considering coming to China?
don't come through an agent. Come through a school directly. If you're gonna do stuff, come to China. Like, do your research on where you're going. Don't come through an agent and don't come without the correct documentation. If they say that they will sort all that out when you get here, no. Just make like above board and then everything, you'll have a great time. That what I'd say would be the one thing. And bring lots of deodorant because that's expensive here. It's like 60 Rand for a can. So pack your bag with as much of that as you're legally allowed to take confiscated.
Sweet, bro. Thank you so much on that deodorant note. We're going to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button and the notification button. It's just good to hit all of these buttons. If you have any questions which you'd like me to ask Josh, then feel free to drop them in the comments below and we'll have a follow-up video for you. Also, in the description below will be a link to Josh's channel. Stay up to date with what he's doing, hopping on trends, and that's all from me. That's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. Zam Jama and Josh Vasahi out.
Cheers.
Oh,